What up, world? Welcome to another episode of BrandonJaneauShow. As you know, I am BrandonJaneau, and like always, on all podcast platforms that were BrandonJaneauShow, social media platforms, uh, Instagram threads, BrandonJaneau, uh, Facebook, the BrandonJaneauShow, and of course, uh, TikTok, BrandonJaneauShow. Shout out to everybody that's been subscribing, following me on all those social media platforms. I appreciate it dearly. So yeah, but really where you can go, man, is my YouTube channel, Brandon Janeau Show YouTube channel. Go subscribe, comment. I do comment back, like the vids, like the shorts. I haven't posted any shorts this week, so I need to get to it. Yeah, um, but yeah. So YouTube channel, man, Brandon Janeau Show. Go, um, go subscribe, like the vids, like the shorts, everything, man. Comment helps in the algorithm if you do. So yeah. It's wrestling life. Oh yeah, wrestling life. Last night was cool. Monday Night Raw was cool. A lot of things going on social, in wrestling right now. A lot of things going on. Um, so yeah. So I started off with this Saturday night main event. Looks pretty damn good so far. The card looks pretty damn good. Jay Uso versus Logan Paul for the World Heavyweight Championship. It is official. It will be at Saturday night's main event. There's another Brian Breaker, Seth Rollins versus CM Punk and Sami Zayn will be also at Saturday night's main event, which I clearly fucking knew that was coming eventually. I said that literally Saturday that will be the first tag team match before they get to CM Punk and Roman Reigns. I didn't think it'd be this goddamn soon, but I guess I get it. Um, there's another match for Saturday Night Main Event. I can't remember what it is now. I think they had like three matches for Saturday Night's Main Event already. Can't remember what it is. What the other match is. Uh, yeah, I cannot remember what the other match is for Saturday Night's Main Event. Something else, I forgot. But yeah. What do I think of Saturday? So far Saturday Night's Main Event. The two matches that I can't remember. The two matches that I can remember. Um, what do I think? What do I think about it? I think that main event is looking pretty good. I mean, I'm not expecting them to have super crazy fucking matches. I expect them to have uh the standard matches, the matches that I expect. One thing about Saturday Night Main Event that has been very hard. I'm assuming John Cena R-Truth is going to be announced for Saturday Night Main Event. I think that's one of those matches. That's gonna be pretty much a typical squash match. I don't see John Cena and R-Truth having a super crazy match. More like the Gunther Pat McAfee, where it's like R-Truth gets some offense in, but then John Cena does John Cena shit and gets him. Um, so I don't expect that match to be super long. I expect that match to be kind of like a little bit of a squash match. The typical now WWE squash match, which is like 6, 7, 8 minutes. It's not super crazy. It's like 6, 7, 8 minutes. Um, so yeah, I don't expect it to be super long. I expect it to have a Art John Cena just goes in and does what he needs to do, be R-Truth. I can see maybe Cora, not Cora, Lord have mercy. Tiffany and Nia. I can see Tiffany and Nia having a match on Saturday Night Main Event. I can see it. Um, I think Nia beat Jade for the opportunity to get the number one contendership. So I could definitely see Tiffany and Nia Jax fighting again for the title at Saturday Night Main Event. That's your women's match. Um, yeah, I don't really see too many. You only have what, 2 hours? It's only 2 hours. Saturday Night Main Event is not super long. It's only 2 hours. So I can see opening with sorry, opening with John Cena and R-Truth. Or maybe you open it with Set and see. I don't know. The main event is gonna be hard to do because I'm gonna be honest. I don't want Jey Uso and Logan Paul to be the main event. I don't want that to be the main event. Um, Especially if you got CM Punk and Sami Zayn teaming up with against Seth and fucking Brian Breaker. I love Jay, but that is not a main event quality fucking match. I know it's a title on the line, but it's just like, to be honest with you, man, you can start the fucking show off with that match, and I'd be like, all right, that's cool. I'd be like, all right, that's cool. I'm cool with that. Like, if you started Saturday Night Main Event off with like Jey Uso and Logan Paul, you'd be like, all right, that's cool. I wouldn't mind it. It probably will be the main event. I don't think it should be. I mean, if you ask me right now, who's more of an appealing main event? CM Punk and Sami Zayn, which is versus Seth Rollins and Brian Breaker, who has actually the fucking story. Like that's actually a story. Jey Uso and Logan Paul is not a story. They're trying to make it, but it's not a story. The bigger story is Jay and Gunther, and that's not even the bigger story. Jay Gunther is going to have to fight Goldberg at some point. Like I said Saturday, if I was WWE, I would have Gunther, and Goldberg at Saudi. I would not have that at fucking SummerSlam. That's just a waste of a fucking SummerSlam match. Goldberg is not beating Gunther. That's another thing that people don't understand. Goldberg is not beating Gunther. He can have his final match. Who the fuck said you had to win in your final match? Like whoever John Cena fights in Boston the last night he's in WWE, John Cena's probably gonna put them over. Like does John Cena keep the belt that long? And that's another thing that I want to talk about. But yeah, if I was up to me, if I had to pin booking this shit, Jay Logan Paul could be like top of the hour, 8 o'clock. Fuck it, and then we close out with Sammy, CM Punk, Seth, and Brian Breaker. I know people sit there and think, Jam, you really saying Jey Uso is not a main event caliber? It's the opponent in the story. It's no story in the opponent. It's just, I'm sorry. I don't want to see Logan Paul trolling the fucking crowd for like 20 minutes. Like, it just doesn't make sense. Like, bro, no. If you're going to have this match, have that shit at the beginning. You get the crowd into it. People could go at Logan Paul. But it doesn't make any sense to have that fucking match. It really just doesn't. It doesn't make sense to have that match on at the end. I don't see it. Especially now that you have an actual more intriguing fucking match with CM Punk, Sammy, Rollins, and Braun. If you closed out the night with Rollins and Braun winning that tag team match, and they're in Florida, and Roman Reigns is rumored to work Money in the Bank. Now I said I'll do the tag team match at SummerSlam. But if Roman Reigns pops up at the end of that at Saturday Night Main Event, and now you got to deal with that motherfucker in CM Punk, why not? Why not? Uh, Jay and Logan are not an appealing story to me. It isn't. You're just throwing a match together. It's not appealing. It's not good at all. We know Logan's not winning. Logan's not winning that fucking belt and going to June 9th versus Gunther. That is so stupid. That'd be a waste of a fucking title change. Because then what the fuck makes me think Logan needs to beat Gunther? Like, that'd be so stupid. Yeah, if I had to pin Jay and Logan and start the night off, you can put John Cena and R-Truth anywhere. And that's shocking to say that you can put John Cena and R-Truth anywhere. But you can put John Cena and R-Truth any fucking where. It kind of feels like that, don't it? Which brings me to what people have been talking about on social media since Saturday night. So there's a lot of camera angles of John Cena kind of getting after the match. I think Peacock, they kind of do this after the pay-per-view goes off. They kind of cut back to after before they do the pre-show, the post-show, I should say. And John Cena was kind of like got out of the ring, and he kind of looked a little emotional. I mean, that was his last time fighting, one in St. Louis and two against Randy Orton. So he looked a little bit emotional. He looked a little bit like emotional. And immediately people was like, oh man, this must mean he's turning face. What the fuck does that mean? No, it doesn't. The motherfucker could get emotional. It's not, that is not a face turn. That is a man, that is a human emotion. Like, bro, this is the last time I'm fighting this man. And it's the last time I'm be in St. Louis as a wrestler. That does not mean he needs to turn fucking face. That is stupid. This the same fucking people that literally the next damn time you saw John Cena, he AA'd R-Truth through a fucking table. What the fuck are you talking about? Like it's just stupidity that people have, and you don't have to be that way. Like it's not that fucking hard. Like, bro, I get that you just believe what you believe, but stop it. I'm sorry. I'm to the point now. It's just like I just stop it. People immediately was like, "Oh man, this must mean John Cena's turning face soon." No, the fuck that doesn't. It means John Cena is a human fucking being, and he just wrestled a man that he's been wrestling for damn near 25 fucking years, and this is the last time they're gonna ever share a ring together. They ain't got shit to do with turning fucking face. That's so fucking stupid of people to just immediately do that. Like I was just like, but again, you getting you want something and then you get it and then you don't want it anymore. This is why I don't like the IWC because you motherfuckers don't know what the fuck you want. You are literally delusional. It's like what the fuck you were. I said this when the shit happened. I said this literally what a week ago, 2 weeks ago, some shit like that. I said this damn John Cena heel turn sucks. Cut to Saturday. People are now like, man, this heel turn sucks. Wow, thank you for finally realizing this. It took you 2 fucking weeks to realize this. I already had said this shit. The heel turn sucks. It doesn't make sense. It's a bad heel turn. The moment itself was great. The but we forget again, just because a moment was great, the aftermath might not be. John Cena turning heel did not make sense. If he turned heel at WrestleMania, it would have made way more sense. Because then the heel turn would have felt organic. It would have felt like a real thing, not forced on us. Like The Rock forced that situation because he wanted Cody. Cena was always going to turn heel. That's not the problem. Cena was always going to turn heel. The problem is that The Rock dumbass inserted himself into this storyline when he never needed to be a part of the storyline. I do not believe that Ariel Emanuel called The Rock and said, "Hey man, we can't move tickets in Toronto." I know that it's John Cena's last, if he knows the business. I know it's John Cena's last fucking Elimination Chamber. I know we're selling it on John Cena's last Elimination Chamber. CM Punk is also going to be in this Elimination Chamber. Everybody and their mama want to see John Cena and CM Punk. Seth Rollins is going to be in this Elimination Chamber. Drew McIntyre is going to be in this Elimination Chamber. Drew McIntyre, CM Punk, Seth Rollins. That is that's four sales right there. That's sales right there. I'm the fuck you talking about. That's four people right there. Damian Priest, who's a former World Heavyweight Champion, is also going to be in this Elimination Chamber. Who has a storyline going with Drew McIntyre, Seth Rollins, CM Punk, and like what are we doing? Like The Rock lied to people and tried to sit there and act like that was the truth, and it fucking wasn't. And now people are like, damn, The Rock really fucked this up. No shit. I said this literally a week or two ago. The Rock fucked up this story. He didn't need to do that. He did it because he fucking has an ego complex and he can't get over his fucking self. That the fans turned on his ass last fucking year. He can't get over it. No matter what you say or what you feel, that motherfucker cannot get over the fact that people flipped on him. He wanted to take away the one thing people did to him. The people turned on The Rock. So what did he think he would do? Come back and turn Cody Rhodes heel, and people would just be cool with it. And Triple H told that motherfucker, no, that's very fucking stupid. We already have a plan in place. John Cena's turning heel at Elimination Chamber. You see how he said, "Oh, Triple H came up with the idea of John Cena turning heel," because he thought that would be some bashing of Triple H because he came up with the idea. John Cena always was supposed to turn heel. He was supposed to turn heel at WrestleMania to win the title. But The Rock fucked up this whole heel turn. But for people that's on social media right now being like, "Oh man, John Cena's gonna turn heel. He's gonna turn face again." Cena's gonna turn face when he drops the belt. That's going to happen. I don't know when he's gonna drop the belt, and that's kind of the problem. I don't know when he's gonna drop the belt and who he's gonna drop it to. He's not dropping it to CM Punk. I know people think it's gonna be like the summer of CM Punk again. He's not dropping it to Punk. He's gonna drop it to Cody. He's gonna drop it to Cody. The problem with that is it. The problem with that is the problem with him dropping the belt to Cody is Punk has got to get a match against Cody at some point. Y'all been teasing it for like 2 years now that CM Punk and Cody Rhodes are going to have a match at some point. You've been teasing it. My problem with this is, do you run into WrestleMania 42 and that's the match? Because if that is the match, who goes over? Because if Cody gets that belt before SummerSlam, at SummerSlam, Punk's got to win that belt at WrestleMania. Right? Like, Punk's got to win that belt at WrestleMania, right? Like, I think CM Punk wins the Royal Rumble. I know a lot of people's high on Sammy. They think Sammy's going to win it. I don't see a pathway for Sammy to win a title, even though he's selling it like he's going to be the one who wins the title. Like I said, yeah, you could do it because he's going to be in Saudi, and you could use that as the boosting point for Sammy. But what if he wins the title Elimination Chamber? His storyline would say continues, and it's not set. It's Braun. Like I said a long time ago, maybe it's Braun and Sammy at WrestleMania 42. Does Sammy get out of the storyline for a minute, and then it's just CM Punk, Roman, setting Braun? Another thing, I see people being like, "Oh man, the third member is going to be Drew McIntyre of this new group." The faction's on Raw, Drew's on SmackDown. How the fuck does that work? Nobody's explained this. See, this is the problem I have with the IWC. You motherfuckers say shit and don't explain how the shit's supposed to work. You just say it, and you think it's supposed to, and that makes sense. It doesn't make sense. I need you to explain this shit. The faction's on Raw. Drew's on SmackDown. How the fuck is that supposed to work? Now, are you going to move Drew back to Raw? That'd be fucking stupid. You just moved them to SmackDown. Why the fuck would you move them back to Raw? Are you going to move the whole faction to SmackDown? I can see it. I can definitely see it. But Netflix is not going to let you take Seth Rollins, Brian Breaker, CM Punk, and Paul Heyman off of fucking Raw. That ain't happening. That ain't happening. Roman is a free agent. He don't have to be on SmackDown or Raw. He can go either way he wants to go. It would probably help if he was on SmackDown. But yeah, the IWC, y'all motherfuckers don't know what you're talking about. And it pisses me off because I saw also people being like, "We clearly know Silverlo is going to take the belt from Jacob Fatu." Why? 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 As soon as he wins the belt from Jacob Fatu, y'all are going to scream Jeff Cobb should beat Solo. I'm putting money on this shit already. As soon as the hand hit the mat for 3, Solo celebrating. You know what makes sense? Jeff Cobb beat Solo Sikoa for the. What the fuck was the point of making about moving the belt off of Jacob? I'm not saying Solo shouldn't probably have a match for Jacob. He should. But Jacob losing the belt to Solo doesn't help the belt. It doesn't. What does that do? Jacob should lose that belt to Aleister Black or Carmelo Hayes. Those are the 2 names. I don't see the point. Oh, Jeff Cobb. Hell, have him lose to Jeff. Fuck it. Why not? But it doesn't help because the story is bigger than the belt. I've said this numerous times. There's certain stories that are bigger than belts. Roman and Seth, they don't need a belt. Punk and Seth, they don't need a belt. They don't need a belt. Sami and Kevin Owens, they never need. Bianca comes back, Bianca and Naomi, or Bianca and Jay. Does that need a belt? Not really. It doesn't need a belt. The story's already made. Bailey and Becky, that doesn't need a belt. The story's already made. There are certain things that don't need belts. Certain storylines in wrestling that don't need belts. That's one of them. That's one of them. But yeah, but the IWC, y'all confuse the shit out of me sometimes because again, like I say all the time, y'all have an opinion, and yet you don't stand on your fucking opinion. You're just bitching, moaning, and complaining until you get what you want, and then you get it, and you're not gonna like it. Why would they do that? You've been asking for it for 6 fucking months. What the fuck you mean? Why would they do that? Same thing with Jey Uso. I was the only one on the table being like, bro, bro, if Jay wins the belt, y'all won't like it. Yeah, like you won't like it. You will not like it. You will be bitching, moaning, and complaining that he's only got 5 moves and he don't do shit and that heat shit is boring. And I saw this shit coming a mile away. I knew this shit was gonna happen. I didn't think it would be that fucking swift, but I knew it was coming. I knew that shit. When people on social media, when he lost the Saturday Night Main Event, I said, y'all are going to lose y'all shit whenever he wins the belt because you don't want it. It's something that you just ain't seeing and you don't have. IWC is not a real place. Doesn't not a real place. You're not. You're not a real place because you have an opinion and you don't stand on your opinion. I do this shit. I saw a bunch of people. I now see a bunch of wrestling content on TikTok and shit. I see a bunch of wrestling content. Some of y'all have opinions and don't stand on it, and that's what hurts the community, I guess, if you want to say it like that. That's what hurts the community, I guess, because you think it's different. And like I say all the time, just because you think something's different doesn't mean it's right. It's just fucking different. Just because it's different doesn't mean it's good. It's just different. You think it's right and it's not. It's just fucking different. Y'all are still banging on the table for Austin Theory to turn face or heel or face. And once he does, you're not gonna like it. Now I do believe they need to break that fucking group up because it's stupid to have a group when one person is completely trying to do one thing else and somebody else trying to do something else. The fact that you can break up these women tag teams so fast and you can't do this with the men is crazy to me. I don't understand that shit. I don't understand that shit at all. Speaking of something, the IWC is definitely. I never had to worry about an IWC ever in wrestling, like ever in wrestling. I never had to worry about an IWC. This is this new shit. I don't know when the fuck this community started. I have no idea when this fucking community started. I don't think anybody does. When the fuck did this start? Was it midway through the 2020s, early 2020, some shit like that? I heard about it, but and then I started podcasting, and I started doing this wrestling podcast. And and my opinions are not for everybody. I will always say that. That's why it's called the BrandonJaneauShow. My opinions are not for everyone. But when I post it on social media, I can easily tell you that you're probably right. And I might be looking at it differently because I'm an actual fucking person and I'm not a robot. I can actually tell you, no, you might be right. I totally agree. You might be right. You might be right. I will totally agree. You might be right. You might be right. That's the point of being a person. My opinions can sway. It's not that hard. But y'all motherfuckers' opinions sway too much. It's like you think one way and then you get it and then you don't like it no more. It's like I was pushing so hard for this, I don't want it anymore. So what the fuck was you pushing it for? Like this don't make any sense. But 9 out of 10, my opinions don't sway too much. I feel how I feel and I say what I say. Like this. AEW fans, get the fuck out your feelings. You motherfuckers wanted this smoke. Oh, you think we forgot? You think we forgot? Wrestling fans, you think we forgot? You niggas wanted the smoke. Y'all wanted the smoke. You asked for this shit. Am I the one that forgot? I damn sure didn't forget. I didn't forget. I remember when you motherfuckers were gloating that y'all beat NXT when it first moved to USA Network. I remember that shit. Y'all were gloating about beating NXT back in the day. I remember that shit. I remember Chris Jericho going on his podcast and being like, "Oh, give us 2.5 years, we'll be bigger than Raw. We'll be pulling in the same numbers as Raw, probably more." I remember that shit. I remember that. Y'all wanted this. You wanted this. I don't understand. Now it's like, oh, y'all can't be doing this. Y'all can't be scheduling events around AEW events. That's just wrong. No, it's not. No, it's not. It ain't like we running shows in y'all city. It ain't like we running shows. It's not like WWE's running shows in y'all city. It's not like WWE is consciously saying AEW's running a show in Dallas. Okay, we're gonna run one in fucking Dallas too. They're running one in Global Life Center for All In. Okay, we're gonna run one in the American Airline Arena. Okay, we're gonna run one in AT&T Stadium. It's not the same, bro. It's not. You wanted to smoke. You wanted this. Y'all were talking big shit for y'all were talking big shit. Now it's y'all can't be doing this shit. Y'all can't be doing this. I don't appreciate this. Y'all hate no. No, no. You wanted the smoke. What the fuck? Which brings me to the newest rumor that is out there, which is that AEW All In is what June, July 12th, some shit like that. All In is July 12th. Great. Rumors are running that WWE could be running their second ever Evolution show, which is an all women's pay per view that everybody's been asking for. They had the first one; it was pretty good. It wasn't a bad one. It was they had to ask a lot of. This is when Vince was running this shit, so of course Vince didn't understand women's wrestling at the time. It's probably still fucking don't. But All In is July 12th in Arlington, Texas. Great. WWE is going to be possibly running Evolution, the second Evolution pay per view for all women. The way All In is looking right now, the way All In is looking right now, the way All In is looking right now is that they're going to probably have one massive women's match on the card. Mercedes Moné versus Toni Storm. Now, it's going to be amazing. It's going to be incredible. It kind of feels like this shit could go two ways. And I hope and pray it goes the second way more than the first way. I hope it goes the second way more than the first way, which is the second way is Toni Storm beats Mercedes Moné to the point where Mercedes Moné becomes obsessed with beating Toni Storm that she has to wrestle her again. The first way is the obvious way, which is Mercedes just beat Toni Storm straight up. And that would be so fucking stupid. That'd be so fucking stupid. Oh my god, that'd be so fucking dumb. Because why the fuck did you give a title if you were just gonna do this regardless? I think it's better if you let Toni Storm beat Mercedes Moné. It will be a way better. If that's the first person that beats Mercedes, is the AEW Women's fucking champion, Mercedes would immediately have a story and a fucking character. You've already ran this collector belt shit to the ground. You need her to have a redemption story. You need her to actually become a fucking monster. You really need her to become the Mercedes Moné that we saw in WWE. She needs that. She needs a story. She needs a character arc. She has nothing. We already know she could fucking wrestle. That's not the problem. We know she can wrestle, motherfucker. We know when the bell rings, she can go in the ring. We know this. We're not stupid. We know how she wrestles. She's one of the best to ever do it. We know this. What she doesn't have is a fucking story. And no matter how many times you dumbass motherfuckers get on social media and try to get in comments to talk about, nah, she has a story. No, the fuck, she does not. Her story is collecting belts. How the fuck is that a story? Half these motherfucking belts, we don't even know where the fuck they come from. By the way, this did not help this past weekend where she lost the New Japan Strong Style Women's title. She didn't even take a pin. She didn't take the pin. You had another AEW wrestler, Mina Shirakawa, take the fucking pin. How you let Mina take the pin? And then she's now in an eliminator for Toni Storm title. Why? She just took a pin and she's now in an eliminator? Perfect question. When the fuck did Sky Blue come back? Was she on Collision those last couple of weeks? I ain't just seen clips of her. I'm pretty sure I would have seen clips of her on social media. I'm pretty sure of it. She comes back and she's just in a fucking eliminator match with Toni Storm? Why? Why? Tell me why. She's been injured for fucking months. The first thing I hear from her being back in AEW is she's in a eliminator match for a title that she had nothing to do with before she left. The fuck? May 25th, AEW and WWE are going up against each other. It ain't even WWE, it's NXT. I don't think AEW cannot run 20 fucking matches on this Double or Nothing card. They've only announced 2. Toni Storm is going to end up fighting somebody at Double or Nothing. That's happening. They're going to probably be a Anarchy in an arena match with Jon Moxley, the Death Riders, and maybe the Young Bucks. Maybe you don't have all the members of Death Riders participate. Maybe it's just Jon Moxley. He teams up with the Young Bucks and Ricochet. It may be Cesaro. Yeah, I can see that. Maybe it's not 5. Maybe you make it 4. Jon Moxley teams up with the Young Bucks and Ricochet to go against Swerve. Swerve, Kevin Knight, Speedball Mike Bailey, and Kenny Omega. You could put Kenny Omega in there. So, 5. That's the 5. Jon Moxley, Young Bucks, Ricochet. Jon Moxley, Jon Moxley, Okada. Jon Moxley, Okada. Young Bucks and Ricochet. Now, a lot of people say, well, what about the Death Riders? What about them? This is the thing about this. When they actually do the big fucking matches, they don't even use the fucking Death Riders. You think about that shit. when they actually do big fucking matches, they don't use the fucking Death Riders like that. They use just giant fucking Moxley. So what will make me feel like, and you know, Anarchy in the Arena would make even more sense to have the fucking Death Riders be a part of this storyline with him. John Moxley teaming up with the Young Bucks, Ricochet, and Okada versus Swerve. Maybe the Ops. Maybe put some old Joe in there with him. Hobbs, Powerhouse Hobbs. Who else? Powerhouse Hobbs. Yeah, the Ops, the Trio Champs, and then Kevin Knight and Speedball Mike Bailey. Or you take out Kevin Knight, or you take out Speedball Mike Bailey, you insert Kenny Omega. Or they replace one of the Ops. I think Powerhouse Hobbs gonna fight in that. But you take out the other guy, and let Omega take the place. And you still have Speedball Mike Bailey, you have Kevin Knight. But AEW, but NXT, but like I said, like you can't have, and then you're gonna have probably the Her Syndicate facing somebody. And the one thing about the Double or Nothing card that you cannot do is run 17 different matches, 10 matches on that card. You're gonna burn us the fuck out, like you've been doing. NXT has already announced 3 matches for Battleground. Stephanie Van versus Jordan Grace. Joe Hendry versus Trick Williams for the TNA Championship. And now Oba Femi is fighting Miles Bourne for the NXT title. That's 3. Sol Ruka is probably going to be in a match. I don't know who. I don't know who they will put against Sol Ruka. I have no clue. It's probably gonna be Sol Ruka. Hank and Tank is probably gonna fight the Dark State. So that's 5 right there. Does Ricky Saints have a match? We shall see. I don't see who he fights. Maybe Javon Evans, but even that. But you got to build that story. That's a stupid thing to just put Javon Evans and Ricky Saints in a match against each other. That'd be just fucking stupid. But we shall see what happens tonight. It might take shape more so. But if you ask me right now, 5, 6 matches on NXT Battleground compared to Double or Nothing, they might have like 10 because they're gonna throw some shit on the card. Just throw it on a fucking card. I'm watching Battleground, bro. Battleground. I've told people this for a long time. Man, NXT is not bad. I think people just have to stop trying to compare it to the Black and Gold brand. It's never going to be the Black and Gold brand. It's never going to be. The less we stop trying to make it that, the better it's going to be for everybody. And I'm starting to realize people are now starting to realize that, like, okay, it's not the Black and Gold brand. It's different. But AEW fans, man, y'all are delusional, man. Y'all gotta stop with this bullshit that y'all are that WWE should not be doing that they should not be booking shit around y'all PLE or y'all pay-per-views. They're grown at they are a company themselves. They are a wrestling company goddamn selves. I can book whatever the fuck I want to book around y'all fucking pay-per-views. Y'all wanted to smoke and now you got it and now you don't want it no more. What? Nah, that don't work like that, bro. It don't work like that, bro. I'm sorry, it don't work like that. Oh no, it don't work like that. You don't ask for the smoke and then now it's on and now you don't, Oh, it was nice when it first started because you were winning, and now it's like, nah, we can't have. You guys can't keep doing this. Yeah, the fuck we can. Who the fuck told you we can't keep doing this? That don't make no sense. Which brings me to this: should Joe Hendry lose the TNA Championship? See, like I just said, NXT has 3 matches they've already announced. One of those matches is Joe Hendry versus Trick Williams. They're gonna have a contract signing tonight on NXT. It's a very interesting conversation to have because last year Jordan Grace came in as a TNA women's knockout champion, and fought Roxanne for the NXT title. And of course, Roxanne won the belt, kept the belt, I should say. But this is the first time in a long time that if you were to do this match is happening. It's going to happen. I don't see a pathway for Trick to get back to Obafemi right now. I don't see it. Trick is a heel now, and you're putting him against one of the most beloved wrestlers in wrestling right now, in Joe Hendry. This is a really great way to start off a heel problem. Which brings me to, does Joe Hendry drop the belt to Trick Williams? Now, it has been announced that Triple A and TNA are going to be teaming up and doing a show together the week after Worlds Collide. Let's say Joe Hendry drops the belt to Trick, excuse me, at Battleground. The rematch happens at Worlds Collide. Joe beats Trick to get the belt back. It could be just for a week, but that will be one of the most fucking exciting weeks of WWE TNA partnership that we've seen in some time. That would be an exciting fucking week. Because here's the thing: as much as I love this partnership, you still win. TNA still beats NXT. NXT beats TNA. Something has to move the needle. Something has to move the needle. I feel like Trick beating Joe Hendry, even if it's for a week, he only keeps the belt for a week. That's a moment. That's a fucking moment. Trick goes to TNA. Or you are going to have a special episode in Tampa for NXT that Tuesday. You could run that match back there. I would do it the week of the World's Collide show. I mean, I don't know how many luchadors are going to be on that show particularly, but like I've been saying, World's Collide should be Triple A in TNA in NXT. You're in Los Angeles. Joe Hendry versus Trick Williams on that card? A rematch? Let's make it happen. Let's make it fucking happen. I'm with it. And it's only a week. It's only going to be a week that Trick is going to have the belt. It's not like he's going to have a bitch for 3 months. It's only a week. Shock value. You get people talking. Like, oh my God, like Trick Williams just beat fucking Joe Hendry. He took the belt. What the fuck? Oh my, a WWE superstar has a TNA championship in WWE. What the fuck is going on? That would immediately bring in headlines. Immediately. I think he knew to do it. I'm not saying, again, like I said, I'm not saying Trick needs to keep the belt for forever. But to keep the belt for now, if he beats Joe at Battleground, would that not be a moment? For just a moment. We live in moments, right? Let's give people the moment. Trick beats Joe Hendry for the TNA championship. Would that not be a moment? Which brings me also the Battleground, which brings me also to Los Angeles, which is this. So, Money in the Bank. Then they said the qualifiers start this Friday. I know next Monday are some qualified matches. The question becomes, who should win Money in the Bank? Men's and women's. For the women, either Chelsea Green. I got like 3 women that should win Money in the Bank. It's like 3. Chelsea Green, Naomi, Roxanne Perez. Those are the 3 for me. Those are the three. I think if Roxanne, who already was in the Royal Rumble, who was the last person to get eliminated, Charlotte, she was in the Elimination Chamber. Imagine if she wins the Money in the Bank the first year she's in it. That would make total fucking sense. And then she would have a gateway. And then she would have a gateway to maybe pulling off an upset on Io Sky. That would make so much sense. Or if she decides to go to SmackDown and take the belt from Tiffany, which I would not mind. I think she needs to be on SmackDown more than Raw. Raw is already good. Raw already has the women. The you got Laura now on. You got Becky. You got Rhea. You got Io. You don't really Liv is coming back. Like you don't need any women on Raw like that. SmackDown on the other hand needs fucking ejection of young women, young blood on SmackDown. They are struggling to get people over on SmackDown. If you put Roxanne Perez as the winner of the Money in the Bank and she cashes in on Tiffany Stratton at SummerSlam, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Make it make sense. I say Naomi. Naomi's another one. Naomi would be perfect to win the Money in the Bank. The problem with Naomi is I don't think she needs the briefcase. I don't think she needs the briefcase. I think she could be Tiffany straight up. I don't think she needs the briefcase. That it would go with a heel persona, but it doesn't make sense to have her have the briefcase. Like why? Roxanne is actually the sneaky one. Roxanne would actually make sense. The story Tiffany. The reason why Tiffany's story last year kind of made sense is because she was around the champion. She knew how to capitalize on Naomi Nia when she needed to. If Roxanne had the briefcase, it makes sense. She's sneaky. She's conniving. She can figure it out. Naomi doesn't need the briefcase. Naomi could go in the ring. She can do what she needs to do. Why are you giving her the briefcase? It doesn't make sense. She's my third of the three, and the other one is Chelsea Green. Chelsea Green makes all the sense in the world. Chelsea Green makes all the sense. Yeah, did she? But I don't think she's gonna get it this year. I don't think it makes sense to give it to her this year. But if she got it, I I can see her winning the briefcase. Here's the problem with that. I can see her winning the briefcase and then have a fail cash in, and that's the fucking problem with that. Roxanne makes the most sense because she's the only one I feel like can win the briefcase and nobody will be pissed off about it. She would win it and you'd be like, yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. For the men, you're gonna always have the fan favorite, which is LA Knight. But my problem with LA Knight winning the briefcase is who does he cash in on? Because he's not cashing in on John Cena. You're not about to have a John Cena cash in. John Cena's gonna lose that belt straight up. He can't have somebody just walk in and take the fucking title from him from a Money in a Bank situation. That'd be just the dumbest shit on the planet. That'd be so goddamn stupid. It won't make any sense. So if LA Knight wins the briefcase, is he cashing in on Jay? You want a fan favorite cash in on another fan favorite? That's very stupid. That's what they did with CM Punk and Jeff Hardy, and CM Punk took the title from Jeff Hardy after he beat Edge, and people turned on CM Punk. It's like, what the fuck was the point? Why would you do that? So I can see LA Knight, but it was like he's not cashing in on John Cena because you're not gonna have John Cena lose the title because of a Money in a Bank situation. That's just fucking stupid. Drew won it last year, so it doesn't make sense to give Drew the fucking belt back, the Money in the Bank briefcase back for no reason. That'd be just fucking stupid. Ludwig Kaiser, I can see Ludwig sneak in and get the damn briefcase. I wouldn't be opposed to it. My pick has always been Braun Breaker. I think Brian makes way more sense. I think Brian will make the most sense. If Brian wins the briefcase, that's an advantage to that group that none of them have. Because you heard what Paul Heyman said. That title is power and control. And what's more impactful than a briefcase that wields that power and control? To the point where you can kind of also rip the seams of that new faction. Because if Braun has the briefcase, you don't think Seth Rollins is going to want that briefcase? Again, I don't know how long this faction is going to take. You can have it to like the Judgment Day, where it's been like 3-4 years. Bloodline, who's been like 5 years, or you can have it like a year, and it could break at the seams at WrestleMania. If Braun has the briefcase, he can cash it in whenever the fuck he wants. And if he's the champion, that's why I keep telling people, I don't think Seth's getting that belt from Jay. It will make more sense if Braun get the belt from Jay, because then Seth will immediately be like, "What the? I need that belt," which will rip that faction to shit. And again, that's why I keep saying I don't see the point of having a third man, because if that faction is not gonna last too long, the fuck is the point of having a third man? I don't see it lasting past. It goes back to what Paul Heyman said at the beginning of the promo. This is going to have rippling effects until next year's WrestleMania. If that is the case, why would you have Brian Breaker and Seth Rollins be in a faction together if the faction is going to probably break up at WrestleMania 42 or before WrestleMania 42? What's the point? Why? I think Brian winning the briefcase would make way more fucking sense. He's the only logical choice. LA Knight doesn't make sense. LA Knight doesn't really make sense. Drew doesn't make sense. There's really one person that makes sense, and that's Brian Breaker. Now, the other one I've been seeing is Carmelo Hayes. I can see Carmelo winning it, but what are we getting out of it if Carmelo wins? Because again, he's not beating John Cena. So is he going to pull it off on Jey Uso? I don't understand. I don't understand the logic of it all. I don't get it. I don't understand it. Brian Breaker makes the most sense. He just makes the most sense. Brian makes the most sense. I'm not saying, let's say Brian, and let's say they open the night up with Roman, CM Punk, Roman, Set and let's say they open the night up with Roman, CM Punk, Set and Braun. I don't think this is a match that's gonna literally happen at Money in the Bank, but if it does happen, Brian gets the let's say Brian loses the Punk early in the match, early in the night, and then Brian comes out and screws, gets in a Money in the Bank and wins it. I think Brian should be the one that wins the fucking Money in the Bank. Now, a lot of people can also say, maybe, what about Finn? I can see Finn winning Money in the Bank. I can see it. I can definitely see it. What would that do for him? Because he's trying to get the Intercontinental Championship. It doesn't want the fucking Money in the Bank. But yeah, man, I don't know who wins. I think the men's is a little bit harder because, like I said, Brian is the obvious choice. I think Brian will make way more sense. Brian makes the most fucking sense. Brian makes the most sense. The women is 3. You got 3 choices with the women. But the men, I feel like there's only really one, and that's Brian Breaker. He's the only one that makes the logical sense because he's the one that could actually beat Jey Uso, and you would be like, that makes sense. And plus, he's the only one in the actual storyline. So yeah, that is it. This is Wrestling Life. I'll be back next week because it's wrestling and it's gonna continue. And then the following week, I will be doing a rate and review show on NXT Battleground. Yeah. Until next time, man, I am Brandon Janeau. Peace.